This is going to be a quick one. I don't invite anybody to these things, so if you show up, welcome. I'm going to definitely stuff happen this week. If you guys like MMA, Octagon is on. My boy Breezy put out a wonderful rendition. This was his first reading of the Nikki Sixx story. It was freaking epic. I'm telling you guys, if you guys like reading, or if you guys like this ASMR experience where you can create, sounds and other things, draw, place to be. I'm reading the Book of Elsewhere from Keanu Reeves and China Miéville, but my pages they weren't in sync right now, and I like to kind of stick to a specific kind, 10 to 20 pages each time. So I'm just gonna cross my I's and dot my T's. It shouldn't be too long. I've got to go to work in a couple, so I'm gonna get my read on. Then I'm gonna close the book. Then I'm gonna put my work clothes on and I'm gonna go to work. Why? Because working is how you pay your bills, and how you pay your bills is how you get more books. More books mean we can read. I hope you guys enjoyed Talking Sopranos yesterday. An ASMR experience. It was great. I had a great time. A lot of stuff that like you wouldn't know about, you now know about if you were a part of that. If you weren't, you weren't. Don't worry about it. Oh, the reason I say if you weren't because you could be. Um, everything repeats. Everything repeats. Even this read is going to repeat. You just got to kind of press play if you want to. Okay, this shouldn't be long. And I've got some, what am I using? Cyberpunk copyright-free music. Because I don't like the sound of my own voice. I guess I kind of like things to accompany the sound because it gives you like an orchestrate sound. Just sitting and reading, and I feel like it gets boring. You're just sitting. I mean, unless you're like my boy Breezy and you can really bring the characters to life. This is not one of those books. But we're really like I'm looking at the way the book feels. It feels halfway done, even though it's not. The stuff I've been reading, I truly enjoy. But I give you guys these background elements because that's what I feel as though I would need if I was reading a book. Because it keeps you enthralled in a different way. I guess it's working different parts of your mind. But if I don't get started on this, we'll be here talking stuff all day. Maybe I should make a talking stuff show. There's a lot of other stuff to talk about. Third Amendment, Sixth Amendment, Karens. That's another story for another day. Let us begin. How does it find you? Whenever you kill it, you disperse its body as dust. To weigh it down with iron and sink it in the sea, or take it to the deepest cave you can and shake down the mountain upon it, or throw it into lava. And as well as however long it might take the gusting ash to reaggregate, the world is big, and a pig has to walk a vast distance to hunt you down. There are only so many ways a pig can cross seas. It takes a long time. Perhaps it might come to know that you saved its mother from pain and be grateful. Perhaps it knows and seeks you and to end you for other reasons. Every time it wakes, it has seen you times. You have killed it quickly when you could, slowly when you had to. You have killed it on every continent. Kind of like killing those crazy thoughts and those really bad people's minds. Sometimes you got to kill it. It has killed you 2, 3 times. The first time in the market in the Fertile Crescent. While the shoppers wailed, it stamped you down and rended your belly with its teeth. Perhaps you thought in those hazy, bloody moments, this is the time. But when you woke from your egg, nothing was different. This death, that this animal's doing, brought you no nearer to anything. All there is left to you now is hope for many years between each time of finding. It was a century and a half since you last disposed of the dear pig's body. You threw each handful high and watched the motion, a thin line of dirt coming apart in the wind. You're not supposed to see anything. This is an ASMR experience that you have to create within your mind. If this is not what you want to do, I respect that and I respect you. Dip out. All there's left to you now is the hope for many years between each time of finding. It was a half a century since you last disposed of the dear pig's body. Sorry for rereading that. You threw each handful high and watched the motion, a thin line of dirt coming apart in the wind, like the pillar holding up a temple whose time has come. Until it is born again, this pig can fly. This time you have the tattooed strip of its belly skin. 167 years pass. Mona Cascadia, you approach a city of arched kiln-shaped buildings. You raise your hands as you come and throw your spear and your shield down. Arrows fly past you from the guard towers by the gate. But these are warning shots. See, I purposely got this kind of book. I didn't want to get the paper pages. I wanted a hardcover, so when I flip the pages, you can hear it. I'm into the ASMR thing. I like it. I do. I'll admit I do. But now back to the warning shots, and as loud as you can, you shout, "I am here without weapons. I need the help of shamans." You wave a leather scrap. "I come with the sign of God," you call. "I am the ink bearer." The sun slips behind a peak. And now that it's not so silhouetted, you can see the town more clearly. You can make out the sign over the gate, painted in blood, a circle, two stylized curling lines to either side, jutting, protruding. Two of the 5 shamans want to kill you. So far you have spoken to them in a trade Creole of the past, not in their own language, in which they cast their votes. So they are startled when you now say in their tongue, "That would be a mistake. I would come back. And that all I want is to ask about your God." Man, I've been there many times in life. You hold up the tattooed flesh again with the town sign upon it. They look at it so reverentially. "Teach me," you say. "Tell me about this." The chief shaman takes you to the longhouse. "Where are you?" she says. "How much do you know of us?" We changed that. It's not put a girl on, it's put a truth on. We're on like day 4 now. What's up, Breezy? Fact is, give me a second. Somebody sent me a message. Let me answer that. Oh. This is the real good part about doing this, is I could actually answer my message. Okay. So we talked about the 2 shamans that are trying to kill a gentleman, and he's asking to be taught. The chief shaman takes you to the longhouse. "What are you?" she says. "How do you know of us?" "I'm a knowledge seeker. I spoke to the Church of the Teeth, and they told me where to find you." She spits. "Heretics and traitors. They say that of you. I don't care who is right. You share a God. I know it. Teach me everything about it." "When it visited, we marked it in thanks," she says. "I know," you say. "I am amazed it let you. I took your sign from its body." She stares at you. "Good point, Alexis. If you save to watch later, during you open it, it'll be in the old style." I was wondering about that too, about the old style, but I see everything. I can see all the comments, but I see them on the lower quadrant on my screen. I guess they will be closer to the top. Not many people comment. I'm going to be brutally honest. I see that I have numbers that people do watch, but I just think they kind of listen and they paint the picture. But I wouldn't know. but I'm always thankful. You're the pig god's brother, she says at last. One of the children of the lightning. When you can speak again, very slowly, you say, one of? She is saying, what is she saying? You can make out what she's saying, can't you? You will concentrate again very soon. I'm trying to do. I'm trying to concentrate. You'll strain to make sense of what she tells you. That's why you fought lions to come here. Because you killed it in that rocky land, you've heard stories of giants, heroes, devils, children of the lightning, the gods. And you don't know, do you? You don't know what the lightning wants or how alone you truly are. And you must know. Ever since the spirit of the first quiet was interrupted by life, spirits enter flesh to do business here. They ride flesh. The pun's working in many languages. She mimes opening a door and thrusts her arm like a cock. She bucks her hips first as if mounted, then an exaggeration of coitus. Their children, the children of the lightning, are moths, the woman says. Butterflies, she says. Children of the lightning sleep in their poopal sacks. You feel as if you are dreaming, as if you've eaten an herb to make yourself fly. I remember everything, you say to her. I'm older than my pig brother, and I remember everything you say, so he must too. No, you don't. You don't say it. You mean to, but you don't speak. You can only think of the words. I was in a chrysalis before he was, you try to say. But there are how many children of the lightning, you want to ask. But she only cares about the pig. I was in a chrysalis before him, and as you strain to say that, it comes to you that though you do not remember the times within your egg, you know that it's a lonely place, and you are shocked and stop up your mouth with your hands because that revelation might make you weep, cry. I am a lightning child, you do not say, like the pig, and we are tools. And only broken tools know they are tools. What's up, my super strong baby daddy? Hope you like those pictures. Still working on that. That I'm working on is we're going to have an ASMR an experience like we did yesterday. I'm specifically talking to you, Junie, my beautiful, darling baby daddy. We're going to do Hell's Kitchen, an ASMR experience, because they don't allow photography. So if you hear those words like an ASMR experience, that means that they typically don't want me to record. You know, just giving you guys stuff. Oh, the next chapter is A Hidden God. Again, I'm only reading to page 110, but I'm giving you guys extra words because it's Sunday. A Hidden God is the chapter. Diana knew of B's capability for a terrifying attention and of what his body could do. The vast deviation of its limits from those of humans or other humans, as she might put it to herself, depending on her feelings about him on any particular day. Extrapolating and considering Babe, she expected it to maintain something of its focus, the rigor of its rage, to be less distractible than others of what appeared to be its kind. So after her first sight of it, Diana waited some hours before returning, until, unable to resist the urgency of her fervor to learn, she made her way back to the viewing room before she was fully awake. B was still there, looking through the glass at the deer pig within. The animal was still rearing and jumping and hammering at the glass to get at him, had not slowed and seemed as full of energy as ever. When will it stop? She said. Will it stop? It will, B said. Eventually, it'll crash and fall asleep. Kinda like my boy Breezy. If I'm still here when it wakes, it's gonna start up again. How long has it been since it's seen you? It's been about 250 years. I'd have to do some counting to be exact. Never be exact. Always go off by a little bit, because what is exact but perfect? It's like this every single time, she said. Not always, he said, but for about the last 78,000 years or so it has been. And why? It has revenge for something. It's hungry for something. I don't know. Maybe it's trying to take your personal identifiable information like Nonia, your PII, like the 700 CPP doxes. You must have some ideas. Well, that was one of mine. What's your best bet? That every time it wakes, he said quietly, you can tell I'm near, and I'm the only other thing that hasn't changed. So I think it knows I have something to do with what's happening to it. It blames me for itself. Oof. They watched the animal stamp in circle, swinging its head, denting a steel locker. Most tranks won't work on it, but I'm sure you'll find something that's going to do the trick, B said. Your bosses must be keen for you to get to work. She looked at him. You know it works, don't you? She didn't say anything. And you won't tell us. You feel sorry for it? Was what she did say. Is that your insight? B said. Stamp, 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 scream, scream, bite, gouge, kick. From his pocket, B took out a scrap, held it toward her. Be gentle, he said. It's 75,000 years old. He laid it flat upon her palm, a dark, soft patch of leather. Jesus, she said, this should be dust. B shrugged. There are things you can do to keep things fresh. This is from it. She gestured at the window, at the howling pig. This used to be its skin in another life. I'm going to stop right there. I'm not stopping the anything of the reading, but if you guys go on your YouTube and you look at the people that do those, they clean the filthy, filthy, filthy carpets. It kind of reminds me of that because they go back and forth at this crazy back and forth pace until whatever it is that they were trying to clean is clean, and it's usually an amazing thing to see. Can you make out what's on it? He said. She moved into a better light. The leather was a gray so dark it was nearly black. She squinted and made out an infinitesimal distinction in pigment, or the subtlest of ridges in the skin itself. A circle. 4 marks. Someone tattooed it, she said. It was one of the cults that worshipped it, he said. For a while, there were nearly as many cults of it as there were of me. In fact, during the worst ice age, it had more. Their numbers dropped off since Charlemagne. What did they believe, she said. The usual mix. It was an angel or a devil, sent by death or the void, or God, or something. They didn't agree among themselves, and that's my point. My point is that so far I knew this. He looked at the leather. Was the last time he let anyone get near except to kill them. So whoever did that had some kind of special relationship with it, at least for a moment. Remember the tunnel? Thaka? The deer pig didn't come in through the warehouse where we hid. It came from the other end. He squeezed his eyes shut as if against a migraine. She said, "Are you okay?" "I'm feeling like there's just something out of my reach," he said. "I guess kind of like I'm trying to remember." "And this is where I remind you of your perfect memory," she says. "Yeah, I know. And it's you who keeps telling me that my memory's not as simple as it seems. You're not the first person who's told me that, to be fair. But you're maybe only the second who's really changed my mind about stuff like that. All the work we did on remembering my mother did something I never told you," he said. "I don't know that I ever told myself. But I think I even knew as if I never said it to myself. Is that knowing? Come to think of that, is that even remembering?" Diana waited for a minute. "I saw her once arguing with my father. My human father. They were trying to keep quiet. I couldn't hear, but I couldn't see them. She had something in her hand. I've never put this in words before. It was..." His eyes did not open, but his hands sketched out a shape. A diadem, bright, feathered, little bird crown. After a time, Diana said, Did you put it on? It looked like nothing anyone in our band could have made, he said. And the way my father was staring at it, it had just been with him. Clearing out some neighbor tribes so no one would attack us. He inclined his head in gracious skepticism. We'd been on the hills and we heard a crashing in the sky and saw lightning over our village. Not like that birthed me, but red this time, something new. We rushed back. No, he said, I didn't put it on. I've had 800 centuries to think about it, and I think my mother meant it for me. I think it was a gift. I think it was to, fix me. I never put the crown on because my father took it from her and threw it into the pit. He shook his head and opened his eyes and looked at her. So why didn't you get it? You could have. He said, she wanted to save me from what I am. He wanted me to surrender to what I am. That crown was a gift to her and from her to me from the red lightning. It frightened him. Maybe I didn't fetch it out of the ground because I agreed with him. How could you save me from myself? Maybe that's not a gift you want. Maybe I didn't want rescuing. Maybe I didn't want to disappoint him. Like the popular song says, when you date a woman in the night, don't save her, bro. She don't want to be saved. Okay. Maybe that's a distraction without a difference, Diana said. In a tunnel, B said at last, where the pig came, there was a ladder at the end, an entrance I didn't even know was there till later. Diana was perplexed. She started to speak, stopped, started again. Why are you showing me this? She pointed at the pig leather. Maybe the tattoo was the same kind of thing as the headpiece, a protection, a gift. I'm showing you this, he said, to tell you there have always been people out there who want to walk in the Babaroosa's footsteps, like Nanya's minions. There was a ladder in a tunnel beyond Thaka, and at the top of that was a trapdoor. That's how I got out. It had been closed. I found a hoof tracks down there with Thaka, but that can't have been all. No matter how smart or strong or special that pig is, it didn't get down here without opposable thumbs. So it wasn't there alone. It's not just the pig that has something to do with whatever happened to Thaka. Someone let it in and came down with it. When whatever happened to Thaka happened. It was a pretty small hall at the back of the building if you didn't want to come through the front. Through what had once been a showroom for washing machines and was now a large sprawling thrift shop. There was the rear entrance. That was how Stonier entered. Someone says, hey. He stood on the threshold. A smiling woman about his age approached him. She had her hand out from halfway across the room. Behind her, the whitewashed room was clean. There were 8 others there, looking around and smiling at him briefly before continuing to top up their vats of coffee, sifting through papers, pen notices on a corkboard, scrolling through documents on laptops. In the center of the chamber, an elderly woman was arranging cheap orange chairs in circles. Like Alcoholics Anonymous. Ideally, the approaching woman said, seeing him with the setup procedure, we just want the room to be a circle, but we're getting too many to fit now, she shrugged. A nice problem to have, I guess. I'm Marlene. So now this is my first time hearing of Marlene in the book. Jeff, he shook her hand. The other parishioners approached. Their smiles made Stonier close his eyes for a moment in dismay. They were so very friendly. Hey there, I'm Edgar. A hand, a big guy with very wide eyes, Stonier shook. Sam, a nerdy young person with severe bangs. Tree, Mike, Sean, tall, friendly, white woman, dark-eyed man, older man with Irish accent. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shake, shake, shake. You're sad, fucking sad, weak fucking pricks. For fuck's sake, go easy, killer. What, that Stonier's own voice in his head or Thaka's, pretty much. You here for a meeting? Marlene said. That's great. You're a little early, but if you give us a few minutes. I don't know, he said. I didn't know about the meeting. Maybe I'll come back a different time. Hey, Jeff, she said. She smiled at him, and it could have been teasing. But no, it wasn't. For an instant, rage came up in him, but it subsided so fast. So soothed by her voice that he shocked himself. I guess I wanted to ask some questions, he said. This was the third time he traveled to the hall, the first time he had entered. Sure, Marlene said. Of course. I'll be happy to tell you anything I can. I told you guys this was going to be short. We're actually on page 111. We're going to lie to everybody and say that we're on page 110. I should be reading tomorrow. Let me see the time right here. Give me a quick sec, y'all. All right, 10:59. I promised myself that I'd be finished by 11 because I got to get ready to go to work. But I hope you guys have had a good week this far. This is part 8. So if you guys go back, I've read 7 other parts. And that's a good thing. I feel like that's a good thing. I'm really trying to get the whole book done. I've got something very, very special for you guys planned. Potentially an ASMR experience on the 10th of December. A couple people know about it, but most of you don't. I'm not sure if the book is going to be done by then, but if the book is done by then, it'll be even better. It's going to have to do with signatures and things along that. But before I close out the show, I want to give a big shout out to Cascadia for popping in, for my boy Breezy for showing up, for Juniper, my strong, independent baby daddy, Alexis joining us, Janine, I like your name, Inferno Blue, and that's everybody that I saw here that was on the chat. So you guys have been made famous in 30 minutes. I want you guys to have a great day. Touch some grass, and if it's fat, smack that ass. Later, y'all.